Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Mike again, and another Leanda B request for Devin Townsend project, and this one's called "Spirits Will Collide" from what year was that? 2019. The album is Empath. So let's move right on over here. I found Devin to be just incredibly artistic and interesting to say the least on how he puts together lyrics and the sound, everything. I imagine his mind is just chaotic. I imagine once he goes to sleep in a couple hours, he's probably waking up with a tune in his head. That's just a guess. I don't know anything about him other than this is what the third. Is this the third one? One, two, three. This is the fourth Devin Townsend uh, project that I've listened to, and it's all thanks to Leanda B. So let's get into Spirits Will Collide. All right, man, here we go. Golly, this guy's brain. Um, yeah, so Spirits Will Collide. So again, I know I keep hitting on my time as a police officer mainly, as well as my time as a United States Marine. I guess you know two spirits. I've when I was in the as a police officer, I only dealt with most people. The most people I dealt with, man, that's not even how I say it. Most of the time when I was dealing with people, I was dealing with them when they were at their absolute lowest. And part of that job was to try to build them back up again. When they lost all hope for themselves, here was this stranger. Yeah, yeah, I wore a badge and I had a uniform on and wore a gun and things of that nature too. But the soft part of that was also what was necessary in order to be a good police officer. And you would go on these calls sometimes where, uh, oh man, I got to be careful of the words I use because this is YouTube. But uh, some of these calls where people were at their lowest and were just done with life. And the whole time you're going to that call, you're trying to think what is going to be that magic phrase that's going to get this person's light bulb to illuminate and say, I'm worth it. Uh, I'm worthy to be here, and I need to be here on this planet. And what I'm going through right now is not going to be forever. And I hope that makes sense. And I had to word it that way to keep so this you know, doesn't violate any of YouTube's policies. But some of these lyrics, let me see if I can find what he said. Um, it's also crosses over into the Marine Corps side because we never leave anybody behind. So we wanted them to we told them you're loved and you know, you, one way or the other, you're coming out of here with us. So that was our mentality. And this guy, man, he's just way over the top with these lyrics. He's very, very intelligent. Imagine having coffee with this guy for breakfast, at a restaurant somewhere just to talk to him. You come away from that thinking, "Holy shit!" Of course, he might come away with the same quote, "Holy shit." you know, I don't have that abstract that he's got, but thank God there are people like that. This one line that I want to say is from that song is, "Don't you forget that you are perfect," and I want to I want to emphasize that. Don't forget that you're perfect. You're perfect in your way. You might not be perfect in the way of somebody that's standing beside you, but you're perfect and you're just the way God made you in your own way. So don't ever get into a depression to where you think you're not like other people, so you shouldn't be here, because that's so untrue. And just yeah, and it says, "Don't you forget that you are perfect, and don't you forget just who we are collectively." All right, y'all. So that's going to do it for me. Again, Devin knocked it out of the park on this one. Holy cow. Uh, Way above me on this. Let me get us out of here so I don't look stupid. So till I see y'all again, I'll catch you down the road. Bye, y'all.